Count Dracula was revived for a classy adaptation by Francis Ford Coppola in 1993, with Gary Oldman donning the cape. Frankenstein was then pieced together by Kenneth Branagh in 1994, with Robert De Niro unexpectedly hired for monster duties. It was therefore also time for the werewolf to get its respected reimagining in the form of 1994's Wolf, directed by Mike Nichols and starring Jack Nicholson. Jackie Boy spent over a decade trying to get this concept greenlit, but it is rather fitting that it eventually released during this era of big-budget A-list classic monsters. Mike Nichols is not a name you would associate with horror, but then again, neither are Coppola or Branagh. Consequently, all three of these movies are intriguing in how these tried-and-true horror figures are presented. This is most evident in the case of Wolf, which, for the most part, succeeds as a more typical romance dramedy that you would expect from Nichols. It just so happens to also feature Jack Nicholson and James Spader squaring off for the World Werewolfing Federation Championship title.
What's going to happen here? Look out! Oh, no! The God Almighty! The God Almighty! They killed him!
Wolf is an embarrassment of riches. Besides the aforementioned Nicholson and Spader, perfectly cast as competing employees, the on-screen talent also boasts the likes of Christopher Plummer, David Hyde Pierce, Kate Nelligan, Puri, Richard Jenkins, David Schwimmer, and a wonderful turn from Michelle Pfeiffer. Mike Nichols was the director, as already stated, but joining him behind the scenes were Wesley Strick and noted novelist Jim Harrison as screenwriters, Ennio Morricone as composer, and Rick Baker was in charge of the special effects. Baker was no stranger to werewolves, having won an Academy Award for An American Werewolf in London. What I'm trying to say is, Wolf has a lot going for it. But what is it about, you ask? Well, Nicholson plays Will Randall, the chief editor of a publishing house, caught in the midst of a potentially seismic buyout. Whilst driving through the countryside, Randall's car collides with an animal. He stops to check on the beast, and under the light of the full moon, falls prey to the animal's sneaky playing dead routine. Amateur. The animal is a wolf, surprise surprise, but it also holds the mystical powers of lycanthropy and slow motion, both of which are diseases that will plague Randall throughout the picture. Back at the office, it seems like the universe is conspiring against the old fool. His new boss gives him the ultimatum of no job or a dead-end demotion, with his cushy role awarded to the snivelling, smarmy type that Spader always nails so well. To add salt to this fresh wound, his wife is cheating on him with Spader, so he gives him a fresh wound of his own. Yum. A change is in the air, oh yes. The defeated old man starts to feel more alive. More like the Nicholson we have come to expect. Much like last episode's Klonos from 1993, the supernatural inciting incident sparks a youthful drive in our protagonist. On top of aggressively fighting back against his enemies and seeking out the affections of Michelle Pfeiffer's withdrawn character, Randall's body goes through some minor amendments. He no longer needs glasses. He can now run like a constipated cave troll. He can hear his wife's adultery from 50 blocks away. And he has gained a significant upgrade to his powers of sniff. But at night, he transforms into a killer beast. The transformation isn't so much Lon Chaney Jr. as it is that mutton chop guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hail, ho, ho, and a bottle of rum.
Rick Baker stated he was more inspired by the makeup work used in Werewolf of London, which I can definitely see. It was the right move anyway, not that Rick Baker needs my approval.
No,
Not really.
It fits the more realistic tone of the film, and Nicholson's face is already wolfish enough. The plot unfolds as Randall's curse becomes more and more dangerous, and his love interest strives to help him out, while another more sinister wolfman makes an appearance. I know I'm a horror guy, but I like this film best when it is dealing with the real-world drama, with the werewolf aspects serving as metaphors and background notes. The tactical office politics, the search for a passionate romance, igniting the flames of an aging man, are great stories. The wolf angle just gives it some tasty flavouring. The third act is where most people will find issue with the film. Myself, I'm torn, like a dude split between the duality of mankind and beast. On the one hand, the ending doesn't quite do justice to the setup. On the other hand, wolf fight! Wolf fight! Not just that, it's a Nicholson versus Spader werewolf fight. You're not going to get that shit anywhere else, ever. The two hairy muckers really go for it, so they do.
Oh, just makes you sick, makes your blood curl.
Wolf may fall just shy of the mark overall. It ultimately suffers from that strange 90s sentimentality feel, and the horror scenes have no teeth. Yet, it still has a lot to offer, most notably, Jack Nicholson on very good wolfish form.